Happy vacation to all my students out there. So I'm here to review another one of the MCAS release questions that I gave in the packet this week. What we're here to do is determine whether RTS is similar to VTU. So we're trying to determine that. What they tell us is that RS is parallel to UV. From there, we also know that these are both straight lines or transversal. Given that, we know that there's going to be some relationships with the angles around here and the angles around here, as well as these angles here and these over here. I'm going to start with a real simple one, as we can notice that these two right here are vertical angles from each other. So I'm going to call this X. So whatever angle that is X. And what do we need to prove similarity? We need to prove for similarity what?
20 minutes later.
So we need to prove that if the angles are the same, then the shape is similar. So if these two are the same, we now need to do something with these two proved over here. So if we look at this one, we know that this one, based on alternate interior angles, is going to be the same as this one over here. If you were to take a transparency, or if you were to take patty paper and rotate it down to here, from here down to there 180 degrees, you would see that these fit each other. SRT is similar to UVT. Alright, so put that, and I'm going to label that Y. Alright, so we know that X is the same, Y is the same, and now we're going to check to see what we can do with this. So this right here can be the same thing. We know that by alternate interior angles, this is going to have the same value as this. If we rotate it down to here, 180 degrees, about point T, we would see that these two angles are also the same. I'm going to label this Z and this Z. So I'm trying to explain and prove that RTS is similar to VTU. So RTS is similar to VTU because our angle, RTS, or in this case we labeled X, is congruent to angle UTV, or X, based on vertical angles. And we know that SRT and UVT, or angle Y, those are congruent based on alternate interior angles. And then the same thing for angle Z, or RSTVUT. We know that those are also congruent based on alternate interior angles. So that's part A. Part B says the measure of angle STV, so STV equals 108. Okay. Determine the measure of SRT. Okay, so it's talking about Y. Alright, so I'm going to say angle Y. Determine the measure of angle SRT plus TUV, so it's talking about angle Z over here. So angle Y plus angle Z. Now, one thing I kind of skipped a step because I labeled it this way. Because I labeled Y, and I know that these are similar, and I labeled this, and I know that these are similar, Y plus Z, and Y plus Z and Y plus Z are all the same thing. If people see that SRT right here, they see TUV, this one right here, they might be like, how the heck am I going to put those two together? But because I already labeled them, and so I can notice that we're talking about a Y and a Z, I can notice that those are going to show up in a different way, right? These are away from each other, versus Z and Y here show up in the same triangle. I like to logic my way through these things. This is how I would do it. I would see that X and STV right here are supplementary to each other.
X plus 108 degrees equals 108 degrees.
Therefore, x equals 72. So right here, I'm going to put a 72. Now, because I have that and I know that I'm talking about y and z, right here and here, or here and here, I know that together, all three of those make up 180 degrees.
180 equals 72 plus z plus y.
I have the sum of y and z equals 108. We were able to prove that this angle and this angle are congruent based on alternate interior angles, and therefore we know that the sum of z, y, and this angle here, or x, are equal to 180. If that's 108, then we know that this must be 72, and if this is 72, the sum of these two must be 108. If this was useful, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to talking with us again more for some MCAS practice. Good luck on the test for those of you that will not be seeing me in between the time you take the test
And this video.
Stay weird.